I'm Adrian Saville. Thanks for joining me on our lockdown vlog. I asked my mom what day it is. She says it doesn't matter, we're in lockdown. If the humor doesn't travel, it's day 12, doesn't. Bad humor aside, there's 4 topics for today's vlog, and those include a chart from one of my colleagues, a question about restarting, what to do in lockdown to look after livelihoods, and an investment response. So first, a chart from one of my colleagues. This is from Dr. Charlene Liu at the Gordon Institute of Business Science. And what she shares with me is a model from the Center for Mathematical Sciences at the University of Cambridge that makes 2 points abundantly clear. A, why lockdown matters when it comes to closing down the migration and contagion of a pandemic. And second, why the longer the lockdown, the better the result. This might either be the worst news I can share with you on day 12 or the best news that galvanizes you to push to day 21. Second, how to restart during national crisis. That we are more than halfway through. It's time to start talking about restarting and what the markers might be. Work from McKinsey that I shared on our Twitter feed last night is that there are at least 2 critical markers. The first and most obvious factor in determining readiness to restart is the number of new cases being reported. The second is the strength of the system for detecting, managing, and preventing new cases, including inadequate medical capacity, especially intensive care units, the ability to perform diagnostic tests and to get quick turnaround on those tests, systems for effectively identifying and isolating cases and contacts, and then adequate medical resources, including doctors, beds, and personal protective equipment. Alongside that, a public that is educated and informed. When it comes to putting these 2 factors on a 2x2 for South Africa, regrettably, we print down towards the bottom left-hand side, what we would call Zone A. And our task, the endeavor, is to migrate from Zone A to B to C to D. And it is that will ready South Africa from lockdown to unlocking. Regardless of where we are in A or B or C, what is absolutely clear is that our protocols for safety and healthcare are critical to speeding up our migration from A to B and then strengthening the system in moving from B to C to D. Whilst we're in lockdown, a point that we've been talking consistently or regularly through our vlogs is about looking after livelihoods. And so I want to share with you a superb piece of work that was pushed to us by Heidi Edwards. And this work is done by Zakia. And in their research, what they have done is they've surveyed 233 entrepreneurs, 6 provinces, 17 industries. 77% of the respondents in their survey are female. Average employment in the people that they survey is 6 employees. 85% do not receive any government grants. These are not mid or small sized businesses. These are what we would call micro enterprises, and they are ultra vulnerable. In the responses, these 233 respondents said they can't afford to pay employees. 50% don't think that their businesses will survive, and 93% do not have any other source of income. These are businesses that are ultra vulnerable. They have access to a wide range, potentially they have access to a wide range of resources, including public sector solutions, private sector solutions, and support from NGOs. However, when asked about access to these resources, 86% of respondents said they didn't know about them. 87% of respondents can't run their businesses from home. And so it makes it quite clear that surviving COVID for these micro enterprises requires more than this. And so the researchers who've put this work together have proposed a range of solutions. 5 big ideas that include widening the eligibility of requirements for assistance, funding needs that need to be accelerated and pushed to recipients as quickly as possible. That funding needs to be not only deployed urgently but also efficiently. That more assistance needs to come in the form of grant funding. What we mean by that is funding that is without repayment requirements, and that small businesses need voice and representation. Micro businesses need voice and representation to find their way, to navigate their way through the COVID crisis and lockdown. So to the researchers behind this, Catherine Torrington, Georgina Boros, Sandisa Gwele, Karen Ruch, Ryan Anderson, Zach Essa, Navika Pillay, Grace Dilla, well done on superb research. Keep pushing. We are with you in this endeavor. And then my last piece of work for today is from my colleague Carl Ferreira in Canon Asset Managers investment team. And he reinforces the rationale for staying the course. The research that Kyle puts out here is on the probability of getting a positive return if you're invested for 1 day, 1 month, 1 year, 5 years, and 10 years. The survey period is the last 25 years. What is your likelihood of getting a positive return on any 1 day in the last 25 years? It's a 53-47 outcome, about 50-50, the toss of a coin. 1 month, it goes better. It becomes 60-40. 1 year, the odds really go in your favor. And keep in mind that this is choosing any random day over the last 25 years. Those random days could be chosen in the Asian crisis, the Russian crisis, the global financial crisis, Y2K, 9/11. Well, not quite now. We don't have the results yet, but what they point to is that investing on any 1 day for the next year would turn the odds 75-25 in your favor. 5 years, it becomes a 97-3 probability in favor of you getting a positive investment outcome. Any 1 day investing for the next 10 years, 100% of the time, you got a positive investment return over the next 10 years if you chose any 1 day to start. It reinforces our point of staying the journey. As John Bogle would say, stay the course. And as we would say in this vlog, stay safe, stay home, keep sharing, keep sending. See you tomorrow.